Alright, guys, so I've kind of figured out how to do these budget computer builds. Basically, you go around to a bunch of different thrift stores and you find stuff. Maybe in some cases, you might buy some of this stuff off of eBay or shopgoodwill.com, maybe even offer up, Craigslist, or whatever. But I mean, you can build a pretty decent computer for under $100, I think. Um, Especially if you've already got stuff laying around. And now with like the cost of DDR3 being so cheap, like you can get 32 gigabytes of RAM for about $28 sometimes on Amazon. And if you get lucky, you might actually be able to buy a computer for $19 or $20 that already has that much RAM in it. Um, this Corsair case right here didn't have that in it, but I bought another Corsair case that had a motherboard that probably has some kind of setting that's wrong. I don't know what it is, but it boots up slow anyway. Uh, this has a 750 Corsair power supply. You got the case, you got the fans, the i5 4750 or 4570. I don't know what it is. It's a Core i5, like a Haswell or something like that, and like 3.2 gigahertz or something. But you can also end up finding these that maybe have an i7 in them. Um, it just depends. So people are donating these computers and stuff because they want to move on to the latest and greatest. They want DDR5. They want DDR4, whatever they want. Or they've gotten a bunch of viruses on their computer from looking at stuff that they shouldn't be looking at, or maybe some of the hardware has died. This one, the BIOS chip was corrupted, and it has dual BIOS, but for some reason, switching the jumper to use the other BIOS didn't work. So I actually physically removed the socketed BIOS chip and swapped them, and it worked. So I spent quite a bit of time trying to back the BIOS B up to the BIOS A, and when I ended up trying it a couple of times before it actually worked, and also I think once I got it backed up, I then updated it and it worked fine. So I'm actually running it on the B BIOS right now. And I don't know why the jumper didn't work before, but so this particular computer here was $19 with a processor and a power supply and a case. That wasn't too bad. The one before that was $34, and it had the Asus GTX 750 card in it, 2 hard drives, the Z97 board. I forget which brand it is. Anyway, and 32 gigabytes of DDR3 Crucial RAM for $34. I mean, like, that's crazy. So, now I don't remember what chip is in that. It's an i7 though. So you got an i7, you have 32 gigabytes of RAM. You get a Z97 board, the GTX 750, 1 terabyte Samsung SSD, a 250 gigabyte Samsung, So, like, that was $34 for that. Like, and the operating system and all that was still on there. And I don't think it was password protected or anything. I ended up wanting to recover it because it had Adobe Photoshop Pro on it and some other stuff that I wanted to use, and Nero burning software. It also had a light scribe drive. It had like 2 of them. And what else did it have? I don't know. That's about it. But it had a virus on the hard drive, so it was really, really slow. And I guess that's why they donated it. Maybe there's other reasons too. But somebody built that computer. This guy built that computer in 2014 for his business. And you could tell, I snooped around the computer. You could tell he died from cancer in 2016. And his wife was using the computer after that, and she probably just didn't want it anymore. There was some really heartfelt letters in there about what it was like to watch him just be taken by cancer. It was, I felt really bad. I was like, I read that thing and I was like, oh, I'd like to do something nice with your computer, just because like that dude, he probably had a lot of fun with that computer when he put it together, because in 2014 what he had put together was one hell of a computer. And that one's down over here. I've got it over here. You can't really see it if I turn the flash on. But it's a Corsair case. Anyway, we won't get into that right now. But that one there, for some reason, there's a kind of an issue with it. Like, if you just push restart while it's already booted up, it will take like 2 or 3 minutes to restart. If it's been off, you come out here and you go turn it on, it'll turn on in about 30 seconds. And it should do that every time, but it doesn't. I don't know what the reason is. I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out why. And then I ran into this one, so I moved on. I also found somebody donated a DDR4 board, motherboard, an Asus board, a basic board for like, I don't know, it was $26. So, if you want to put together a really good computer, all you got to do is find one of these older 2014-ish DDR3 computers, I found this card for $8. This is a GTX 1060. This one came out of here, but they knew the computer didn't work, and so they priced the card for $29. Which is interesting, because this computer being $19 and that being $29 is actually more than the $34 one that came with all the other stuff. And that one has this card in it, which is the 750. There's a plug somewhere for this. Oh, right there. Yeah. This thing is huge. Here's some other cards that I've gotten. This is an FXF or something. XFX. I don't know which one it is. It's a Radeon R5 2200. It's 2 gigabytes. I would say that any of these things are probably going to be pretty good. I mean, even this one. So what we're going to do is we'll make a video. We'll try all these, just benchmark them, and see how much of a difference do I notice in Cinebench R32, or is it R23? Anyway, so that's the plan. But I was just making a video to tell you guys you can put together a cheap computer if you want to put in the work of looking for this stuff. You want to drive around and go to different thrift stores and look for computers. They're there. If you go to a computer recycle place, you probably won't get a good deal. You might, but it's unlikely. They're taking the stuff for free and getting it donated to them, and they're going to make money on it. I know the local guy around here, he's moved from one place to another, and he's a nice guy. I've never really paid attention to his prices, but he's got to make money to pay the overhead, which is really ridiculous around here. I don't know how he does it. But he makes sure that he doesn't sell stuff that's going to come back. So, but you probably wouldn't find a good deal. That's the thing. And just to walk in there and just go buy something off the shelf, that's boring to me. So, to me, I think it's fun to go find these things and shop around. And, this isn't the only thing I do. So, like, I can go to the thrift stores and look for other stuff, too. So, anyway, we're going to do a video later on. I've already kind of benchmarked a couple of them, like this one versus the internal graphics card. They're actually fairly close. So, it'd be interesting to see what these other two do, especially the newer one. So, we'll catch you later in the next video.